How's it going, everyone? It's Nick Atkin here, live one championship podcast on Sportskeeda MMA. It is July 15th. Good evening, good morning to you, wherever you are in the world. I'm back to talk all the latest one championship news as I do every Monday and Wednesday. So, yes, we'll be back on Wednesday too. Hopefully, have a couple interviews for you. But today, a little bit of a news roundup I'm going to be doing. A lot of news to get to that happened over the weekend. The main thing, obviously, you'll know from the headline of this video and the thumbnail, Christian Lee, finally, the warrior, the champ, is back in one championship. He's going to be defending one of his belts at 169 in Atlanta this coming November. His brother, Adrian Lee, also back in action. I'll have news on his next fight. Some other new matchups that some of which have just broken today, a couple hours ago. We'll talk about all of those as well. And one Friday fight, 71, coming up this Friday. A few other things as well, including some sad news of a one championship fighter passing away. And also Sagid Izagakmaev, if you remember him, signing with Dana White's Contender Series. We will get into all of it and more. Please do ask any questions you have as well. Good to see the gang, the usual gang here. Nicola, what's up? Nice to see you. Yes, if you have any questions as well, any news I've missed, any topics you want to discuss, please bring it up and I'll get right to it. But here we go. Let's start off with the big news. There's only one place we can start. That is indeed 169. Christian Lee back. It's been a long time. I think a year and a half, I want to say, since Christian Lee competed. It was Singapore, November 2022. I was there when he became the champ, won his second belt by beating Cameron Abasov, 4th round TKO. Excellent fight. That was an incredible fight. Christian looked down and out in the first round. He got caught, somehow came back and got the job done. But of course, tragedy struck about a month later. Christian's sister, Victoria Lee, taking her own life. And obviously, we know what happened. Angela Lee retired last September, opted not to fight. But Christian, we were told, was definitely 100% coming back. And in the meantime, their younger brother, Adrian Lee, also debuted, 18-year-old, in Bangkok in June with a victory. But yes, Christian Lee, it is official now. He is back. He will be co-main event, it looks like, of 169, November 8th in Atlanta. So Joe and Tawanchai looks like they may have been bumped down to third spot on that card. I don't know if people will agree with that, given how great their two fights in one championship have been so far. But there it is, yes. Looks like Lee and Alibek Rasulov will be co-main here to Anatoly Malakin and Rug. I'm trying to roll my R's. I've never been able to do it like the Spanish. Yeah. I've not got a gift for dialects. But yes, Christian Lee against Alibek Rasulov. Let's get into it. A couple comments here. What's up, Combat Sports Today? Thanks for dropping by. And Chester, my guy Josh, asking, what do you think of Christian's matchup? I personally think it should have been Kadistam getting a shot at welterweight title first. Yes, so we'll get into it. What do I think of this matchup? That is the question. I kind of voiced my opinion already on Twitter, so if you follow me there, you'll know how I feel about it. I think this news dropped on Friday night, my time, or Friday morning, US, something like that. So I was not super thrilled about the match. I'm thrilled about Christian Lee returning, but yeah, I thought perhaps a better opponent could be lined up, and welterweight could be the answer, yes, but it's pretty hard. If Christian's been training and preparing for lightweight, putting on all the muscle for welterweight, maybe out of reach for him for now. Maybe he wants to defend the lightweight belt first, then do a welterweight defense if he wins or even if he loses. But yeah, Rasulov, I wasn't impressed with Rasulov in Bangkok a couple of weeks ago when he fought Ok Rae Yoon in the main event. Hastily rearranged short notice main event that got thrown together because Jackie Buntam was injured. That fight with Ok and Rasulov then got bumped up from 3 rounds to 5, and an interim belt was added on. Rasulov then failed to pass hydration, although he was on weight throughout the day. So I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but yeah, he missed. He failed the checks, whatever, however you want to put it, and he then proceeded to put on a really boring fight. I think it's fair to say against Christian, he just tried to clinch him. Against Ok, he tried to clinch him the whole time. It was not great. 25 minutes there, to be honest. I thought it kind of ended what had been a really fun, exciting card. One Fight Night 23 ended on a kind of a flat note with that matchup. You know, and Prem Fairtex came into the ring with the belt, but obviously only Ok Rae Yoon could win the belt because you can't win the belt if you don't make weight or fail hydration. So, yeah, Prem's kind of standing there with the belt. Chatri's not at the event. He's not in Bangkok. So Prem is standing in the ring with the belt. Ali Beg's hand gets raised. Dom reads his name out. So Prem's kind of, well, what do I do with the belt now? Kind of just takes it back out of the ring. So, yes. And then I was voicing my opinion on Twitter. I'm just not really sure you should get a title shot from missing weight, or failing hydration, but I think it sets a bad precedent. But I understand one has probably kind of backed themselves into a corner slightly by booking that interim title fight, and then I'm sure the goal all along was to get the winner to face Christian for Christian's return. But when it happens, you just need to make sure both guys are on weight and or past hydration, and it should have been fine. I mean, it's not like the fight was short notice. They were already going to fight each other for 3 rounds. So Rasulov was making his debut in one. So perhaps he didn't fully know the whole hydration system thing. So yes, I feel like perhaps that contributed to it. But it is kind of a flat note, if Ok had won, I think you've got a great story there. And I think one maybe was secretly crossing their fingers that Ok had won that fight. Trilogy, and one apiece. I think Christian did demolish Ok Rae Yoon in that second fight, but Ok bounced back with a win in Denver, and I think you could have still sold it with a fair amount of intrigue. And then you've got 2 trilogy title fights on Atlanta. It's a pretty cool thing. And there was controversy in the first fight as well. Christian was pretty upset he didn't get the decision. So good story you can tell there. But yeah, this one, I don't know how good the story's going to be now with Rasulov. It's more of a kind of all going to be about Christian's comeback, obviously, after, well, by the time he fights, it will be 2 years out. So that's my thoughts on the matchup. I'm not, also, I think it's not a great opponent in terms of perhaps if he's going to fight the same way, Rasulov, and just try and clinch and do nothing. It's not going to be a great showcase for fans and for Christian, but you'd expect Christian to have some tricks up his sleeve and just be able to peel away from that and perhaps get a TKO, something like that. So we'll see. Maybe Christian Lee will still make it an exciting fight, but perhaps I'm being too harsh on old Ali Beg. Maybe he's going to show us something different. But he's also undefeated, I think, now. 12-0, something like that. He came in, so it might be 13. I'll just double check that. You can still sell that fight with a decent amount of intrigue. 14-0 for Rasulov. Okay. Well, let me know what you think of the fight, guys, in the chat. Christian Lee. Chester, who asked the question originally, says, I think for the American crowd, you're trying to get hooked. You could get more people watching with Kadistam. Last year, he had a great KO over Soldich. Yeah, so the flip side of this is okay, if Rasulov missed weight and we don't have an interim champion and a unification fight, which would have been a cool story, whether it was Oak or Rasulov, what do we do? Do we try and pivot? Do we go, all right, Christian, how about you defend that welterweight belt? You could fight Kadistam, who knocked out Roberto Soldic last year in Denver. But maybe Christian's thinking, that's a bit more of a risky matchup for me. I'm not physically where I want to be defending my welterweight belt, and Kadistam is obviously got some powerful hands, and we've seen what he can do. That's a risk. Maybe Christian wanted to stick with the plan here, lightweight. So yeah, I feel for Kadistam. He hasn't fought since Denver. That was over a year ago now. Doesn't feel like he's booked either. I just hope they can get some things moving. If you've done an interim lightweight belt now, there's literally nothing stopping them doing an interim welterweight belt. So I would hope to see, yes, Kadistam versus someone. I'm not sure who we've got left at welterweight now. With Murad has left, gone to PFL and got knocked out silly. Soda, she's already beaten. I'm just trying to think who else. Maybe you could do Abasov against Kadistam, but that was a very boring fight when Abasov beat Kadistam to win the belt. Just kind of wrestled him for 5 rounds, and Kadistam could do nothing. I think if you want the best Kadistam, you want to match him up against similar guys. So I have no idea. Maybe Hiroyuki Tetsuka is fighting Issei Futikefu on the Denver card in, what is that, September? So you could do that. Yeah, that could be the plan. Tetsuka or Futikefu, if they win, could fight Kadistam for the interim welterweight belt. Tetsuka's on a nice roll now, 4-0, 5-0, I think, in one championship. All finishes from a good market for one. Japan, they're looking to break into, or further, break into and solidify. So maybe I like that. But again, if that's happening, then it's not going to happen until the end of the year, something like that. So poor old Sebastian the Bandit will be waiting around for a while more. But yes, that's my thoughts on it. The Chandy98 says, would have loved to have seen Abasov still in the mix, yes. Nicolas says, one's MMA situation is not pretty. All the title holders are just missing due or injury or personal reasons. Chandy says, will you be excited when they announce Tawanche versus Joe 5? Well, I think whatever happens in this one, it probably is going to be the last one for at least for a while, unless Joe gets a controversial win and maybe they do the fourth. But I think if Tawanche wins it, so it's got to be done. It'd be 3-0. You just can't really force a fourth one. Nicolas says Anatoly just has too many, so it creates a huge weight in 3 categories. I think that means titles, yes. Yeah, and Anatoly is obviously fighting Rugrug in November, so there's no way he's going to cut down to middleweight in the meantime and defend that belt, or to light heavyweight and defend that belt. So 2 divisions, quote unquote, held up, because they're not really divisions. I mean, you could argue middleweight is still there, but light heavyweight literally doesn't exist in one. In MMA, there is no one. I don't think Anatoly will ever defend that belt. I don't think he'll ever defend the middleweight belt, to be honest. So I could see him just eventually giving those up after an amount of time. And you maybe do. Well, Ong Lan Sang is back against Shamil Erdogan in Denver, September. So maybe whoever wins that could fight RDR for an interim belt at least, and then we'll see what happens with Anatoly if he ever wants to make that weight cut. But The older Anatoly gets, I just don't think making that weight cut is going to be good for him. And it didn't. He didn't look his best against Derrida at that weight. Derrida even caught him one time and rocked him, and his power didn't really carry over. I know he still finished the fight, but I think he just sort of was very smart. He realized they made a nice switch. Maybe it wasn't a mid-fight switch, or it was the plan all along. But I think John Boy, his coach John Hutchinson, told Anatoly to target the body because he just didn't have the power, I think, to knock Derrida out, and like he did in the first fight, knocked him out silly. I think didn't have the power after the weight cut, so they switched it up, went to the body, and managed to tire out Derrida to the point. Yeah, he had to quit. So that's my thought on that. What's with Anissa Mexon? Dickers asks, I know what's up with her. I can't say it at the moment. I'm sure it'll be announced very soon. Yeah, I think you'll like it. She is coming back. There will be some news, I believe, very soon. Chester says, I'm just butter. Does that mean bitter? Because Kadistam is one of my favorites to watch. Yes, I like Sebastian Kadistam as well. He was a very fun character. I'd never actually met him before Denver or interviewed him or anything, so got to meet him and hung out with him a little bit after the show. He came back to the hotel. I've never seen someone destroy so many chicken nuggets so quickly, but he deserved that. And then he was having some whiskey as well, whiskey and nugs post fight meal. Yeah, he's an interesting cat. Yeah, we're talking to him a bit with Tom Taylor, my old colleague from SCMP. He's an interesting guy. We saw him just wandering around the streets of downtown Denver as well before that. We were traveling back on the bus. He had like a cast on his hand and a bottle in the other. Interesting guy. Fabricio, where the hell is that guy? Asked Nicola. Yeah, I don't know actually. It's a weird one. Andrade. I haven't seen him since November when he got KO'd by Haggerty. It's been 7-8 months now. No title defense, MMA. I do find it strange, yeah. I have no idea. I don't know if he's injured. I haven't heard that. I know he's been active, helping. He was in Brazil for a while, wasn't he? Helping Jose Aldo train for the UFC Brazil show. Yeah, it's a mystery with Fabricio Andrade. Maybe I'll put some feelers out, see what's up. Where's Buchecha? Asks the Shandy. Similar, I don't really know. I did see Buchecha, I think, is in Florida right now, an American top team, I want to say. Maybe I got that wrong. He was it may have been him and Adriano Moraes. I saw someone. He was training with on Instagram. I haven't heard any fights for Buchecha. I think I'll double check that, but saw him in Qatar in March. But he was just kind of doing some appearances and things like that. So I don't know. He's kind of in limbo, yeah. But there's plenty of guys if they want to get him back. He could fight Ben Tainan. He could fight Amir Ali Akbari. Could fight old Arjan Bula if they wanted to give Arjan another fight. Who knows? Nguyen Tran Doinat versus Jacob Smith to be in the top 5. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool fight. I think Nguyen's coming off a win over Ghazali, and Jacob coming off that loss against Dennis Puric, and Puric obviously also beat Nguyen, so I think that's a cool fight to make. What's the strategy of ONE FC in doing to Denver and Atlanta? I think you mean, is that going to Denver and Atlanta? What's their goal? Dickers asks. I think the goal is yeah, put on a couple of big, exciting shows at impressive stadiums. They're going to the two NBA arenas of those cities, Ball Arena in Colorado and State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Put on a couple big shows. I think they will hope they can sell them out and make a big spectacle, make a big impact, perhaps get some coverage from the big American MMA media and Joe Rogan and get some buzz going with some of their. I think the Muay Thai is key. They want to really put on a. As Chatri said to me he told me he wanted to do this Superlek versus Haggerty fight back in Qatar when I was talking to him. He said, I want to showcase the best of striking and to American audiences. I think that's the overall plan. They still have to kind of encase it in MMA, or if that's the right word, Trojan horse style. You use the MMA to kind of lure the American fans in, and then you pop out the Muay Thai for them, and perhaps convert a few casual MMA fans in America to check out this excellent, crazy 4-ounce glove Muay Thai that one is doing every week and every month with some of these incredible fighters they have, like a Superlek and Haggerty. Rodtang, of course, is well known in America. I think that's the plan. That's the goal. Okay. Man, those two RDR losses were bad. Shandy says, yeah, I feel for RDR. He kind of went from being on top of the world, people talking about whether he could go to UFC. Now he seems to be an afterthought in one. And I love the guy. I hope they can get him a matchup again soon. He may have to swallow his pride a bit, though, and do this Ong La and Sang trilogy. He's talking he didn't want to do it for the longest time, but he may have to now. Looking forward to it. Anissa was pissed on social media. Her fight was cancelled, says Dickers. Yeah. I mean, it was a few weeks out, and I'm sure she was pissed because she hasn't, been able to be very active for whatever reason in one championship for various reasons. Yeah, she hasn't fought since last December. She's kind of averaging one fight a year. So I'm sure she was pissed, and now she's going to have to wait again. But yes, I can't see her social media. She blocked me because she got pissed at me. So you have to tell me what she said. Bring Blobtang to one. Anonymous says, how did he get on at RWS Japan? I watched some of the other stuff on that card, including, Kunsu Klek getting knocked out badly, which was a huge shock. It was a huge, huge shock, wasn't it? Pound for pound, considered, pound for pound number one in Muay Thai, and absolutely sparked by Matsuda, Riki Matsuda, who was, I think, only in his second Muay Thai rules fight. Takes the Rajadamnan belt from Kunsu Klek, who fought 3 times, I think it was, on one Lumpini last year, and one were very, very high on him. Everyone is. But he obviously went over to RWS and was doing his thing there. But yes, I don't know what happened with Blood Tank. Was that fight on that card too, or is it on another one? I have no idea. Where's Tristan? I don't know. I haven't spoken to him for a while. I'll check in with him. He's got a login though, so if he ever wants to just jump on the show, I can't even stop him. He can just literally jump in the chat. So if you're watching Tristan and you want to jump on, please do. But otherwise, I'll try and arrange with him to do a show next time. I don't give much notice, to be fair. So perhaps that's it. Fabricio Andrade #1 says, Josh, they should give Bular a bus ticket home from Qatar. Yeah. I'm not sure he'll be getting any fights anytime soon. What's happening with Pet Gija? Nothing. I think I have heard of a matchup actually, for her for I think September, the next big Lumpini pay-per-view tentpole thing. It's a really exciting match if if it happens. So I can't say anything, obviously, sadly. But yeah, it's a cool one. Why do one not do bigger arenas? They always do like 10,000 seaters. I think if they could sell 10, 12,000 tickets in Denver and Atlanta, that's a great achievement for them. I don't think they'd want to go anywhere bigger. And if I'm them, I wouldn't either, unless maybe in Thailand they could go to a slightly bigger place. But Impact was what, 12,000. They sold that out for the last one in June. So yeah, I think stick to that because they haven't always been able to sell those size arenas out before. So it's good if they can get that. You don't want to go too high too soon. Focus on that first. So the goal of the American shows is more in terms of image and notoriety rather than just a big gate. Well, yeah, if the UFC did Denver last weekend and made a $2 million gate, so I'm not sure. I'm sure one's gate would be lower because they're probably charging less for tickets. The UFC charges an insane amount for tickets, but I might be wrong. Maybe one is gonna, if one sells it out and it's 2 million, sure, that's in the hypothetical realm. Great, but what's the burn rate? Yeah, on the show, it's kind of tough to fly a whole production crew and rig from Asia over to America. I think I'm not sure. Yeah, once you factor in everything, will the gate be a big profit? Not sure how much, but I think it's probably not about making as much money as possible. It's making a statement, showing what could be the way forward in America. Like, hey, we could do this every month. You know what I mean? If the audience is up for it and the demand is there, we could launch an on ground American team, and we could do at least one every quarter. Or I think the goal has got to be doing a monthly show there, but the quality of the cards has to be consistent, I think, and they need more big name stars to headline those, which is tricky. So yeah, we'll see. I think next year aim for 4 shows in America. Take it from there. Anissa is a very nasty woman, says Josh. No comment from me. I actually really like her. I don't know. I'm yeah. I mean, I really do. I enjoy her company. I went to interview her a couple of times in Forget Fight Club when Benoit was with her still. Thought we got on well. Yeah. I know some people have less than kind things to say about her, but yeah, I'm not gonna trash talk or anything. Right. Blobtang was actually pretty legit and has an iron belly. I think he KOs a lot of one's heavyweights that aren't quickly, says Anonymous. I've not actually watched him. Yeah, I presumed it was just a bit of a freak show kind of thing, but sounds like he's got some real skill. Blobtang versus Quickly and Make It Happen, Chandy says. Any insight on how Denver is selling? Story of the fight asks. I actually, checked on the ticket sales on the weekend. I was chatting with my guy Connor McDougall about it. Connor, who's always on the podcasts when he's not working, always commenting, watching. Love that guy. He's a complete one championship diehard fan. So yeah, he's going to be going to the Atlanta show as well. But yeah, we were looking at the available seats. They seem to be doing quite well. Maybe I can bring it up. Yeah, it seems like they've sold a good amount so far. There it is. Yeah, maybe we'll show it on screen. I'll do my thing. 1 second. Present. Okay, got it. Yeah, so you can see here A lot of the cheap tickets, the $40 nosebleed types, are still available. I think it's a pretty good deal, yeah, for a ticket, $40. I think they'll be able to move these tickets. Is my theory. My theory is, well, I know they haven't officially taken stamp off the marketing and all that, but I think she's definitely not going to fight. I know she's not going to fight. I mean, she's only just started walking without a crutch, and when I say walking, kind of hobbling. No way she'll be ready in 2 months to defend a belt, or not defend a belt. Sorry, challenge for a belt against Young Jingnan of all people. So definitely stamp is out. So my theory is Rod Tang is going to be announced as the new star of this card. I don't think he'll be the headliner. I think Superlek and Haggerty will be bumped up to main event, but he'll be the headliner in all intents and purposes, and they're going to give him a. I know I've heard of what the matchup they're trying to do is, and I yeah, it's a fun one. I think you'll like it. So I think that when that is announced, I think it's gonna move tickets, and I think a lot of people will be kind of sold to pick up some of these seats. That's my theory, but yeah, it's selling well. There's a lot of tickets seem to have been sold already. I think this looks like this part is yeah, obviously not going to be in use because it's behind the stage. But yeah, I think I've heard they're happy with how it's going so far. Some of the pricier tickets still available. I think that's a good deal, yeah. 350 US for a proper VIP seat ringside there. God knows how much that would cost at the UFC. Even the nosebleed seats in the UFC these days are astronomical. So I yeah, if you're in Denver, and we saw Denver as a very fight crazy town city. So I'm confident. Yeah, I believe they'll do well. I think some people are probably still just waiting to see what happens with Stamp, and yeah, if Rod Tang gets announced, he was incredibly popular there last time, obviously. So I think it'll be fine. That was a bit of a tangent. Sorry. Okay, September card is looking weak outside of main event and Liam and Sexton says anonymous. Well, and there were some other fights on that card, so I think they haven't been announced yet. But yeah, I've just got a plan, an idea, a theory that Rod Tang will be slotted onto that card, which may pique more people's interest. But incredible main event for sure, and Liam and Sexton will be good. November main event is laughable, says Anonymous after that ketchup fight. Oh, don't get me started on ketchup again. Dickheads, Anissa blocked you. Wow, any idea why? She seems quite impulsive, but you are not divisive at all. I've told the story a few times, but I'll say it. I'll try and be quick. I think she didn't like some things I reported when she didn't do the Stamp mixed rules fight in January 2023. She kind of walked out on that fight after discovering that the agreement she had signed didn't have a win. But the issue was if she didn't seem to realize if the fight went to a decision, there would be no winner, so she wouldn't get a win bonus if she won. That was the issue. I kind of have heard that she was offered a win bonus, regardless, to try and if she won the fight, to try and keep her on the card, but she just got extremely pissed off and didn't go to the press conference, didn't go to the weigh-ins. So I think then Stamp's team got pissed off and she ended up fighting Supergirl on short notice in a great fight where they both got a 50K bonus. So I don't think she was that pissed off. But yeah, then there was some stuff came out the following week. Stamp's team saying they saw that Anissa was maybe Chatri said this, that he'd heard Stamp's team had said something like Anissa was 3 kilos over. That's why she didn't weigh in. And Mexon definitely wasn't overweight. She's very professional. She never misses weight. So I reported that Chatri said that Stamp's team had said this. I think that pissed her off. Yeah. So our budding friendship was snatched or ended briefly. All right. Meta box Anissa is indeed very nasty. I don't think she's nasty at all. I think she's actually really nice when she likes you, I think. So I got on with her really well before that. And I felt she was a bit misunderstood. $40 is really cheap indeed. Category 3 in Lumpini is $50, says Dickus. Yeah, $40. I think great price. To see Superlek versus Haggerty in the flesh. Snap that up if you're on the fence and you can get to Denver and watch that. Ongla is back for Denver, says Vincent Lim. Yes, against Shamil Erdogan. I was chatting to Ongla briefly over the weekend. He's pumped, hyped up. He wants one last run at the belt. This is a tough test, though. Shamil looks pretty good. Younger lion, looking to stamp his authority against the veteran. Blobtang versus Ketchup. Book it. Yeah, why not? Anonymous. Anissa might have only blocked the account of your previous platform, but on Instagram, when you block one account, it blocks any accounts connected to it. I don't know. I'm sure one day I'll interview her again, unless she refuses, and maybe we can patch things up, mend fences. I have no problem with her. I don't. Maybe she wouldn't want to talk to me. Who knows? We'll see. But I saw Benoit. I'm not sure if they're still together. I obviously didn't ask. It's a bit kind of personal, but yeah, it seems like they're no longer working together, at least in a professional capacity. And some people even saying they're no longer in a relationship. I don't know. Don't want to speculate. But I saw Benoit. If anyone knows, please clear it up for me. But I saw Benoit when he was there cornering Maurice Abevi a few months ago, and got on really well with Benoit that week. So I feel like he doesn't hate me. Right. You made an interview with Frank. What about the tiger with short hair? Oh, Nara, do you mean the other? They're the ring announcer. I do like Nara. Yeah, she's very cool. I'm sure she would be happy to do one. That's actually a great idea. Maybe I'll do that. She's very fun. Right. I got kind of taken off track there with all these comments. So I'll just try and get through the rest of the news I wanted to discuss. So starting with Adrian Lee. We talked about Christian Lee. Now let's just briefly mention Adrian Lee. His next fight has been announced too. It was, I think, a day before they announced that Christian Lee was back. They announced that Adrian Lee will be back in America too, but in Denver, not Atlanta. Adrian Lee gonna fight. What's this guy's name? Cornejo. Nicholas Cornejo. No idea who he is. Let's have a look. 34 years old. Okay. No results found. Got no idea who this guy is. The Steel City Kid. Anyone got any idea? 34. I found his topology. He has 2-0. Has 2 professional fights. Age of 34. Last, oh my God. The last of these fights was in 2015, but both of them were in 2015. So this guy has not fought for 9 years professionally in MMA. But yes, I think it's obvious one wants to build Adrian Lee and not Nicholas Cornejo. So they're giving Adrian, as they should, winnable matchups at this stage. Adrian has only just turned pro, got his first win in one championship in June against Antonio Mamarela. I think it was a first round submission. Can't remember. So yeah, that's obviously the plan is to get Adrian's record going, build him up. Don't rush in too soon, as it absolutely should be. So I fully expect, yes, to see Adrian getting his second win in one championship there. Adrian's opponent looks like one of those NPCs you fight when early in a video game career mode. There's Anonymous. Why does one do this with no namers on the big stage while guys fight for years on Friday fights? Well, I think, yeah, Nicola, obviously they want to build Adrian Lee as a future star. And he's got a lot of talent. I think you want to expose him to a big audience, yeah, and get him an easy victory, a submission or a knockout, first round, something like that. It's as it's going to happen with the fight above that. You can see Johan Ghazali and Josue Cruz. I think the thinking is the same. Expose this young prodigy to a big audience, a big arena, big stage. Give him a very winnable fight. Cruz has not looked great in one championship. I think his last one, it was first round TKO loss to Sean Climaco a couple months ago. So it is what it is. Yeah, you want to build these guys up, get the crowd going with a couple of early finishes. I imagine these two fights will, be opening up the card, something like that. At the moment, they are. But there will be more fights added to this card here. But yeah, there it is. Adrian Lee back too. Nara, it is. Yes, Nara will be a great guest, Anonymous says. Yeah, let me speak to her. That's a great idea. She's old school. Does he have anything on topology? Yeah, Cornejo. I just found it. Maybe I could show you guys that. There it is. The Steel City Kid, Nico Cornejo. 2-0. He obviously competes as an amateur. But his last professional fight, is 2015. Amateur, he's competed in about a year ago. Before that, it was 2018. Oh, sorry, no, I'm reading this wrong. These American dates. You just need to forget everything I said there. I was reading 15 there. It is 2023, not 2015. I fully take it back, Nicholas Cornejo. I've slandered you, defamed you. I was idiotically reading the dates wrong. It is 2023. He's had 2 fights last year, so not 2015. I was thrown off by the age, yes, and all that. But he is 34. I've got that right, haven't I? There we go. According to topology. So fought twice last year, 2 wins. Before that, yeah, some amateur results there. Not done too badly. So it's not as ridiculous as it seemed before. I apologize. But yeah, still, I would imagine a fight that they think is winnable for Adrian. But you have to take that back. Yes, it is not. He has fought recently, not 2015. Messed that one up, didn't I? Right. It happens. Sorry to Corneo. I got it completely wrong. Story of the fight says, honestly, that's an appropriate matchup for Adrian this early in his career, not just star power wise, development wise as well. Yeah, I agree with you. Great, good matchmaking. I have no qualms with it. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, let's have a look. Sad news today. Yeah, I wanted to mention L.A. Lauron, Filipino MMA fighter. You may remember was on One Warrior Series Philippines a couple years ago. His died at the age of 32. This was reported by Nisia Kashano and the Tiebreaker Times. Maybe I could show the article. Hope Nisi wouldn't mind. But yes, I saw this guy make his one and only fight in one championship. It was in Manila, December 2022. He was a short notice replacement on the card for Matthias Farinelli, who had to drop out. So Janlo Sanjal, the son of Mark Sanjal, Team Lakai head coach, needed an opponent. This guy came in a couple of weeks. He had been on the Warrior Series, yes. This guy, LA, he missed weight pretty badly, but yeah, short notice fight. And then Janlo, I think, submitted him in the first round. So he never saw him again in one championship. It's a shame, though. Someone dying at such a young age. Details aren't very available. Tiebreaker Times was able to get confirmations through his close circle. Details surrounding his death are undisclosed as his family and loved ones request privacy during this period of mourning. Very sad news. Yes. Rest in peace. All right. Yeah. Story of the fight. Damn. I was at that fight. That's really unfortunate. Yeah. Forgot you were there, weren't you? You told me before. Yeah, very sad. Okay. Moving on. Here it is. Just looking at the other news. We did Kunstu Click, didn't we? I kind of just scroll down my feed to see what I've tweeted about in the last few days. That's how I do this. Yeah, Sagid Isarak Mayev. Remember him? Signed with Dana White's Contender Series. Combat Sports Today reporting the news. Teammate of Khabib. 22-2 record with 4 KOs or TKOs, 12 submissions. So that's 16 finishes. Was 3-0 in one championship. Defeated Shinya Aoki in his last fight. I was there in Singapore. Yeah, this guy looked like an absolute monster. He was tearing through everyone. Islam Makhachev, you all know who he is, cornered him for that win over Aoki. I thought this guy is gonna be facing Christian Lee, and Christian was already talking about that fight. But Christian obviously had to go and win his second belt, and then everything happened with Victoria Lee, his sister. So the fight didn't materialize, and then Saigid asked for his release, I think last September, October last year, around that time, and he was given the release. And I thought he would end up at the PFL, but looks like he's going the UFC route, but he's got to go through Dana White's Contender Series first, which I think is a bit of a piss take, to be honest, to force a guy with this record and his experience and his links to Islam and Khabib to go through Dana White's Contender Series. I think that's a slap in the face, but it seems like UFC does that with everyone now. They make them all go through Contender Series and fight for one of the. I know the purses are there are ridiculous, aren't they? But I'm sure he'll make quick work of whoever they give him on that show. Hopefully, they give him a contract straight away and stop messing around, because I feel this guy's good enough to debut on the main UFC roster straight away on a big card. You could, get him some exposure on a pay-per-view on the undercard, hype up his connections with Islam, Khabib, have Islam corner him, something like that. Get people talking about him. Yeah, no need to do this silly Contender Series thing, but that's how they do business nowadays. So, yeah, as I tweeted, a big miss for one. A seriously talented fighter. Would have loved to see that fight with Christian Lee. I really would have. I just can't believe they let him go. You'll see how good he is, guys. If you haven't before, you'll see now. Is he managed by Ali? Says story of the fight. It's got to be hard for one to get Ali's guys when he's in bed with Dana. Well, Ali came to one, a few years ago. They made a big, I think it was around 2020, made a big song and dance that I actually interviewed Ali after this. That Ali Abdelaziz was bringing a bunch of monsters to one championship, and we started seeing that. Yeah, we saw Sagid and there were a few others, but they just haven't been getting booked in the last couple of years. And Ali was getting publicly frustrated, I think, with one, and he was tweeting things and stuff. So I think, one just have let Sagid go, Murad, and that's it. We're just not going to see them anymore because they're not getting fights. There it is. Okay. What else have I got? Let's look. Mikey Musumeci. I don't know if anyone here is the grappling fans particularly, but we'll talk about it anyway. Mikey Musumeci is out of the Craig Jones Invitational. His opponent is not yet announced, but they were attempting to make the most viewed jiu-jitsu match ever. He will now obviously turn his attention to Cade Rutolo in Denver, 168. But this is what Mikey said. Hey guys, unfortunately, I'm out of CJI now. We are attempting to make a legendary match that would have probably been the most viewed match ever, but it fell through at the end. I want to thank Craig Jones for the opportunity. I'll still be heavily supporting his event and what he's doing for jiu-jitsu. There you go, guys. I feel like he was probably going to fight someone, a big name from... I mean, who could it be? It must be someone from the UFC, a big name. But there it is. Any other news I've got for you that we can cover? I've done Christian Lee, done Adrian Lee. Let's scroll back up again. We did click. All right. Yes, this one from today, actually, just a couple hours ago. So Kuzman is out of Fight Night 24 on August 3rd against Ferrari Fairtex. Felipe Lobo stepping in. I like this fight too. I liked that fight before, but I like this fight too. Lobo obviously coming off that loss to Haggerty in that title fight in February, I think it was, which was a really great fight, fight of the year contender. So let's see what Lobo can do here. I like this fight. And anything else? Yeah, one Lumpini as well. I was tweeting about that today. One Lumpini 71. Looks like a fun card, this one. Song Chainoi versus Rock. Rematch. They had a great fight last November. Song Chainoi got a unanimous decision. Knocked Rock down twice in the first round. Rock knocked him down in the second round. It was a classic. So yeah. Bit funny because I thought Song Chainoi he obviously got the contract in that fight, and then he fought on a Prime Video card after. But he's coming back Friday. Maybe it's just a one-off thing. They needed a main event, and he's getting his purse from the contract. I don't know. But yes, some other cool fights on this. Chuck D is back. Pet Lampoon as well. This guy's one to keep an eye on. Nashin Sat from Russia and Mongolia. Should be a good card, guys. Tune in. And yeah, that's all my tweets. I'll double check any other news, any other matchups that have been made. I think that's kind of covering it. Fight Night 24. Anything else been added? I'm just looking now. I don't think so. We covered that before. All right. Well, yeah, that's about it, guys. So I'll have a quick look at the comments, but I'm trying to keep the show to an hour today. Just I'm pretty emotional and tired still from last night's European Championship, Euro 2024 final. England losing to Spain 2-1. It was emotionally draining, and obviously I had to stay up till about. I think I got home at 7 a.m. Yeah, I'm very tired today. I slept till about 12, but not very good sleep, And I had a nap, but not a very good nap, and just feeling pretty drained. Been quite busy lately with some work stuff, so yeah, I'll try and be back on Wednesday for a longer show. I'll just get through these comments though. CJI is going to be awesome. Story of the fight says, cool that one is letting their big names compete. Yes, Cade and Ty are also on that. Although Ty told me in Bangkok a few weeks ago, yeah, he had this neck nerve issue. So who knows? Lobo is a dog. Great replacement. Story of the fight, yes. Do you know if Jimmy Vienna will fight again? Dick is us. I presume so, yeah. Unless that was the last fight on his contract with one, then he will. Yeah, I know he tried to escape a couple years ago. He tried to go with Anissa Mexon. They both tried to leave. Or last year, was it? Last summer. Both tried to go to Arez in France. But they ended up, getting pulled off that card. And one enforced their contractual rights to have exclusive access to them both. They both eventually came back. Anissa obviously fought Pejija last December, and Jimmy Vienna just fought Shadow at Friday Fight 68, 10th pole. I was there. Good fight, had a good first round. But yeah, Shadow eventually got going and beat him. Unanimous decision. Combat Sports Today. Any update on the Featherweight Grand Prix? Nothing I can say on here, but yeah, nothing. I don't think anything imminent will be announced about that, sadly, for various reasons. Anyone know who Bravo is fighting? He said he's fighting August 2nd. I don't actually. A shout out to Nick for doing this podcast. It's not just. It's just more like the tired. I'm so tired. It's like I don't stay up till 7 a.m. these days. I'm a good boy. I'm usually in bed by midnight. I used to stay up late all the time when I was working at SCMP. I was doing late shifts, a lot of late shifts. I would start work at 12 or 2. So yeah, sometimes a lot of the time I start at 2 and I'd finish at 11 p.m. and then just couldn't get to sleep before about 2 a.m. something like that. So I'd always a really messed up sleep schedule. I've mentally prepared myself for the possibility that Superlek pulls out of the main event and gets replaced with Nico, says Anonymous. I don't think so. I think they want Nico to do another fight. I kind of overheard from I'm not sure though what it was. I didn't hear, but I'm not sure Nico will do that. No way the Grand Prix happens this year, says Anonymous. Yeah, I don't think it will happen. I think, yeah, it'll probably happen whenever the Japan card happens, and I don't think Japan is going to happen on September, which was the plan, because Rodtang is now needed. This is just my speculation. I think because Rodtang is probably needed in Denver, they're not going to do Rodtang versus Takara in September now, which means they're not going to do the Japan event because you need Takara to headline that. So I think Takara will probably fight around the same time, maybe on that September Lumpini card, because I think they're planning a tentpole Lumpini late September. So maybe, Rodtang gets a win, Takara gets a win. Then you put them together in Japan, maybe December, January, and you can do your kickboxing showcase there and have the first round of the Grand Prix. Sounds good. Why not? Why are they still showing Stamp in the Denver promo graphics? I think they're trying to sell tickets, yeah. And they haven't finalized the replacement yet. So my theory, is they're gonna, as I was saying earlier, they'll announce a Rodtang fight and then they'll take Stamp off the promotional materials. Right, that is it, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah. Get some damn sleep. I'll see you all Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. I'm hoping to have some really cool news actually to announce. I think by the next show it should be official. So make sure you tune in and listen up. That's not news about one championship, news about myself. Okay. All right. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you spending your Monday night or morning, wherever you are, afternoon, evening with me. Hope you had fun. Thanks for the questions and the support. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. All that stuff. It's been fun. We'll see you Wednesday. I'll try and line up a guest or two as well. Apologies again. I was a kind of tired mess today after the emotions of the England match. Yes. Congratulations to Spain, though. They were a better team, for sure. Football is not coming home. It is not. Perhaps it never will. That's a question for another time, though. We'll see you later. Thank you, everyone.